Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Well, the way daylight savings time's going here in October, we ought to call it an overnight taste challenge, really, because it'll go 6:30 and it'll still be dark. It's ridiculous manufacture of time. Anyway, we have George Dickel Rye. I don't know how long it's been on the market. The company's been around since 1870, so they may have been making a rye whiskey all along. That could have been like a sideline project. Their main product is the Dickel number 8 and then the number 12 recipe. But this is George Dickel Rye Whiskey Charcoal mellowed, mellow as moonlight. 90 proof, 95% rye, 5% malt whiskey, and that's barley malt, and produced in Indiana at the old Seagram's distillery, now known as Midwest Grain Products. I got a great deal on this, $12.50 at Walmart. Will you find it for that price? No, you won't. It's usually about $24. Okay, $25, so I got it half price. All right, Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye, 90% rye, 10% something else, some other grain. Introduced in 2015. Neither one of these have an age statement. This is also from Diageo. And I don't know when Diageo bought Dickel, okay? I don't know how they got a hold of that. I know they got Crown Royal from Seagram's when Seagram's went out of business in the year 2000. Diageo bought Crown Royal plus a bunch of other brands. But from Canada, this 1 liter, I was shocked. I didn't even realize it was a liter when I bought it. I just thought it was a $7.50. I wasn't paying attention, honestly. I saw it for $15.99, and I said, wow, I'm going to buy that. That's half the price. Everybody's got it for $28 to $30. I got it for $15.99, and I got a liter. Incredible. Now, which one's going to be better? I don't know. This one is not straight rye whiskey. It just says rye whiskey. It doesn't say straight rye like Old Overhalt or Woodford Reserve. So what's the difference? Why isn't it straight rye? They're using a number 4 char barrel. Well, if it's not aged at least 2 years, that would disqualify it. But it has to be at least 4 years because there's no age statement on this bottle, see? So that would eliminate that possibility. Then there's a whole history about George Dickel, and they're showing a picture of him with the beard and everything like that. It's filtered through charcoal, or as they like to say, mellowed through charcoal, and it's chill filtered. And they brag, some companies will say our stuff is so good because it's non-chill filtered. Well, George Dickel, they always brag that their stuff is chill filtered because they're the ones that pioneered that chill filtering. So a lot of people look down on chill filtering, but George Dickel Company, meaning part of Diageo, a subsidiary or whatever of Diageo, they tout it. They tout it. Okay. So Canadian rye versus Indiana rye. Specifically Manitoba rye. Manitoba, Canada. All right. CR, Crown Royal. Here we go. They're both 90 proof, so I can't use the proof as a clue. They're both over 90% rye. Neither one are giving us an age statement. Only thing, George Dickel, it might not be straight rye because they might be aging it in used barrels. Could be a number 4 char, but it doesn't mean it's retaining a whole lot of it because, you know what I'm saying, if it's a used barrel. Rubber neoprene stopper. That's that kind of rubber you see on the bottom of tennis shoes, sneakers as people call them. Put that over there. The Crown Royal comes in a white bag, a cream colored bag with gold trim. It's like canvas instead of the typical, purple bag with the gold trim and writing. I'm gonna wipe this glass off. I cleaned them very carefully. So you figure in the price is a little higher for Crown Royal. Let's just be sure about that. I'm gonna look up Total Wine and more. But while I'm doing that, we'll start. There's a frog. Hey, I see a frog on the screen. I saw that little green frog out by the air conditioner yesterday. I saw, sitting out there enjoying this humidity in the rain, which I don't need. I need to get the porch fixed. Okay, front porch roof. Okay, so let's see. These contractors, oh, I'm gonna call you back. I'll be there first thing in the morning. Tell me that for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, now Friday, then Saturday. Here we are. Sorry, never showed up, never called. These guys, to me, they know good, and then they'll be, when the work gets slow again, they'll be around running to people's house to do a job. It's like, no, we don't want to help you now because you didn't want to help us when we needed you. If you're busy, don't use that as an excuse. You could at least have some customer service and call people back. It's not difficult to call people. It isn't. Let's see, Dickel, George Dickel Rye. Here we go. Oh, $22.99. So I said $25 was only $23 minus a penny. 23. Okay. Interesting. Still got a great deal on Crown Royal. Northern Harvest Rye. Okay, not even available in my town, in my area. See, it's fading away. 28 in Texas. I'm not going to Texas to get. Okay, so you get the liter for okay, the liter was $43.49. So the liter is $43.49, but I got it for $15.99. Wow. See, their liter bottle looks different than mine. Theirs is skinnier. This is the same thing. Okay, same product at least. So 28 versus 23, $5 difference. Still thought it was a $5 difference. Is the Crown Royal going to be $5 better? I doubt that. We're going to find out right now. I don't even know if I'll be able to tell them apart. I haven't exactly been greatly successful with this series. We're starting tomorrow with George Mckenna. Straight bourbon, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, aged at least 4 years, by virtue of it having no age statement on the bottle. Now, some people were talking about, I know the mash bill, like I saw about 4 videos where they claim they do the mash bill of George Mckenna. But I was thinking, where did you get that from? Heaven Hill doesn't list the mash bill. Only for the, maybe the small batch, single barrel, whatever they call it, 10-year aged. But not for the run-of-the-mill Henry Mckenna. But anyway, we'll deal with that later. If somebody knows, you tell me. But I don't want to hear anybody say, oh, well, I read it in this book by this guy. That's not an official source. I need a real good source, like the company, not some guy telling me this. I've had other people tell me, well, I used to be in the business and I know. Well, that's good, but it's not a definitive source, because anybody could come on here, use a name or make up a name that seems real and claim they were in the business. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it is not a reliable source. Now, if George Dickel's telling me it's made in Indiana and I'm reading it off the website, I'm pretty sure it's made in Indiana, because why would they make that up? Gotta have some sense about it. Not sensibility, but some sense. Now, this one over here does not smell as bold. This one smells kind of flat in the nose. I mean, you can pick up sweet grain and spicy rye and whatnot, but it's just less bold. Now, I'm not saying this one over here is super bold. No, it's not the case either. They're both mild and mellow. So if you say, I like whiskey and I like it to be mild and mellow, this could start you off in a good situation. Now, when you taste it, it might throw you back. You might say, oh, yikes, the proof's too high. And I don't know about this rye whiskey. It's too funny to me. I was talking to some guys yesterday at work, and they were talking about Crown Royal. I used to drink my VO and everything. And I was talking to them about rye whiskey. They never heard of Crown Royal Northern Harvest. And in fact, both of them seemed unaware that there was such a thing as rye whiskey. And I'm not making this. One guy is in his 60s and one is in his 50s. They seem perplexed by that. What is rye whiskey? They said. That's what they said. Well, what is it? You know, they seem confused. I didn't say they weren't really interested. I don't think. I was talking about, I don't think they had any kind of great interest in it. I told them they should try it. It'd be something to try. I'm sure they never will. But that shows you how rye whiskey is not really prominent. You say, well, I know people that love it. It's got a following. It does have a following. But here's somebody in his 50s, somebody in his 60s, they never heard of it. And if I'd have told them about Sazerac rye, they'd have said, I never heard of that. See, it just goes to show you. You might be like me, all into the internet, looking up whiskey brands, reading, researching. It's like a hobby. But the general person on the street, they don't care about all that. They know about regular brands, Jack Daniels, Crown Royal, Hennessy, you know, Jim Beam. That's it. I mean, they're not gonna like make a big interest in it. You know what I mean? They're not going to have a big interest in it. Now, this one here is strong in the flavor, but not strong in a bad way. Strong, bold, hefty, got a lot of spicy rye. It's got a good bite to it. I wouldn't say it's necessarily smooth, easy going. And it might be the Dickel, because, you know, Crown Royal's got that smooth kind of thing going, and that sweet. My friend David said, oh, yeah, I could tell this is Crown Royal because it's got that sweetness. He said it just tasted like Crown Royal to him. I didn't quite understand that, but I don't have the drinking experience and tasting experience he has. He's not even 3 years older than me, but he started drinking and tasting things at a much younger age. So he has some familiarity with the brand names. Okay. Or at least he says he does. Without a blind taste test, you never really know. People can make all kind of claims. I know my Coca-Cola. I know this. I know. Well, let's do a blind taste test and find out if you really do. That's where the rubber hits the road. You know what I mean? Another spicy rye product. Woof. And a little oak. You get that on both. But this one has that quintessential, I'm saying it too, really, Crown Royal taste. And what is that taste? It's a strange thing, or it's a strange thing if you try to describe it. It's not a strange thing because it's so common. But when you describe Crown Royal, it's got that oak. It's like oak wood that's been saturated in whiskey. It's just like if you squeeze the oak, whiskey would drip out of it, you know, like a sponge. And I noticed that with regular Crown Royal, it's like sugary, like the whiskey started to crystallize. Regular Crown Royal, this Northern Harvest Rye, the bourbon mash, which is a Crown Royal bourbon, but they can't call it bourbon, so they call it bourbon mash. But or blender's mash. They couldn't even use the word bourbon to describe it. Well, at first they could. Then the U.S. government came under pressure from American bourbon producers. They were like, okay, you can't use that term. So ridiculous, you know. And the Crown Royal Black. So they all have that commonality. Watch me get it wrong, huh? But it seems that way. So very difficult to describe sweetness. I would say like crystallized sugar. And you say, well, that's table sugar, crystals, white sugar crystals. It is sort of like that. Now, I know there's Crown Royal haters out there. You say the word Crown Royal whiskey, they flip out. They just lose it. Come on, rap. Get agitated. Get hysterical. Go crazy. I don't know why. It's not that big of a deal, but they do. And then they'd be screaming and hollering about how terrible it is. And I tell them, it's not terrible. And they do the same thing with Budweiser, you know. I hate it. It's the worst. It tastes like horse urine. I've never had that. You know, it tastes like the most worst, horrible thing ever. And then you don't take them seriously. It's like you want people to take you seriously about your opinions on beer, but then you're going to say that about Budweiser, or you're going to say this about Crown Royal. And it's so like over the top, it kind of like undermines your other opinions. Zach Robinson says, good morning, Ron. I love the rye offerings from the companies. Not a big fan of the Crown Royal offerings, but I will look out for the rye to check it out. Okay, and there's no locator tool on Crown Royal's website that I could see, but you could just find out, and that shouldn't take any kind of effort, really, minimal effort. Say, well, who is the Crown Royal distributor in my area? You can either call the distributor, well, yeah, or you could go to the local liquor store and say, who is the distributor for Crown Royal? They'll know. They'll say, oh, it's Glazer. All right, whatever. Oh, okay. So then you call them. Not on a weekend. They're probably not going to answer the phone, but during the week and say, I was looking for Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye. They'll say, hold on a minute. And in a few minutes, I've had this experience. They'll tell you, oh yeah, these people have it. Or they might say, I'm sorry, we don't carry it in this area. It's not sold in this region. They'll give you an answer. They will give you an answer. And my experience with these companies is they'll tell you who's got it. And if you go to that liquor store, it's there. They're right about it. Sazerac's even more detailed. They'll tell you, no, we don't carry Kentucky Deluxe anymore. They told me that. In that area, not in the whole country. But they said, but, there was a store close to you that had it as late as October 2014. I was like, wow, that's pretty detailed. They know who had it and when they had it the last time they had it. And the guy's just looking this up for me. So I said, they're very helpful. Sazerac is the most helpful, but they're all pretty helpful. Now, could you call Diageo itself and ask? You could perhaps just call Crown Royal's 1-800 helpline or whatever. And I mean, they might know, but you probably have better success with a distributor who's going to really have it down. You know, hi, big boy, says Beer Hounds. Hello, Beer Hounds. The Crown Royal Peach is very good. Thanks for watching, Omar. I've never had any Crown Royal flavored product, but they're very popular. Those guys were telling me, I was talking about the rye, you know, and then the guy's like, I haven't had Crown Royal apple in a while. And I looked at him like, apple? I'm talking about real whiskey. You bringing up apple. I'm thinking that, you know, being all negative and, you know what I mean? Being a whiskey snob to some extent. I said, I never tried the apple. And they were like, yeah, that's good. I said, well, you know, if you want to drink I mean, really, you ought to drink whatever you feel like drinking. You don't have to worry about beer or whiskey reviewers, what they think. They might think they're important, but they're not, you know. Just because you get on YouTube and make videos and rate stuff and make a review, you're not important. You just think you are. And you might say, well, oh, these companies sent me beer. Oh, yeah. Oh, great. Great. Havana's great. You're still not important. And you're still not in a position to tell people what to drink. So if people like drinking Crown Royal Peach or Crown Royal apple, or Taka apple, Taka vodka apple, whatever. Burnett's pineapple vodka. Who cares? I mean, drink it. It doesn't really matter, you know. It doesn't matter. Pruno is good. I never heard of Pruno. So really, just drink what you want. Now, some people might say you're undermining your own channel because you're advising people not to be like, you know, bullied in an influential way by beer reviewers or whatever. I'm not undermining the channel. I'm just saying you can watch them. They're interesting, but don't let that like direct what you want to buy. And if you like something, then you like it. Even if it's cheap, even if some flavored thing, you know, it's not legitimate, you know, whatever, just drink it. Who cares? So it's got that char. I think that's the Diageo. They're both Diageo. I think that's the George Dickel. I'm going to call it now. Which one do I like better? I can't really say. It seemed like the Crown Royal maybe has a fuller flavor, like a more expansive flavor. Like it's a wider flavor, but is that a $5 difference? Would I pay $5 more to get that experience? I don't know about that. I don't think I would. So I'm going to say George Dickel wins by virtue of being $5 cheaper. But it's not like a big difference either way you look at it. So let's go. Well, if this says CR, must be so shamed and aggravated. I'm so shamed and aggravated. It's Crown Royal. Well. There you go. The George Dickel had the more expansive flavor. Like I said, the fuller, more expansive flavor. Oh, well, I got it wrong about half the times in these challenges. But one thing we know, it even reinforces that the Dickel is better, even though I thought it was the other thing. Oh, well, blind taste tests, they're tricky. They're like walking through a minefield. You don't want to step on that mine. And I've stepped on it 5 times here. I do my reviews to help people decide if they should buy it or not. Right. It's a free public service at my expense. I told you Crown Royal sucks. Oh, come on now. It does not. I demand that you not say that. Okay. Anyhow, I'm going to go watch the news, and maybe I'll have more success with the Henry Mckenna. It's kind of bland, so I could just use that as a signpost. Like when I think of blandness, I'll think that's the Mckenna, and the other ones have more flavor. But I could be wrong. We'll find out tomorrow. I hope so. Thanks, everybody. You take care now.